we return to one of the Pokemart aisles, aisle 5. Yep, over here in aisle 5.
Here in aisle 5.
I know you went there, Lance, but who else went to the Pokemart to get Pokemon-related Poke things?
I went there. I actually bought some items.
Okay. So what were you buying?
Let me see. I think I just bought myself some potions, mostly. Go to my character sheet real quick, like. Yeah, I bought myself some more regular potions. And 2 super potions. And that's pretty much it.
Okay.
I think.
Alright. Poke Center things. Understood. Cool. Alright. So, with that being said, as we're all coming back from the grand old time of Pokemart, very, standard there. Fight broke out between 2 trainers, turned into a fist fight. It was broken up by a Hitmonlee, and well, they understood the error of their ways. Pat and the Black Eyes, they helped too. But yeah, just the standard day there at what did I call that Pokemart? I'm just gonna call that Pokemart. All right. Anyway, yeah, just standard day there at the Pokemart located on Boulder Road. But as you were leaving that little incursion, I believe you 3 would be heading on back to the Poke Center, pick up Pokemon that you left there. Simple, easy, relatable, debatable. On the way there, Kira.
So.
Once again, it has been very quiet as far as the Ghastly is concerned. He has been waiting, ever so patiently, but appearing in front of you. It is time.
It's time?
Yes.
Alrighty. I think we got. Yeah, we have all our Pokemon, right? Wolf is at this moment, Sakura, or did I leave Stark at the Pokemon Center?
You'd have your Pokemon.
Yeah, because I remember the last one we did is that I did call Let's Not Stylish, because only he would recognize me saying that because of the Ditto.
But did the Ditto do what it needed to do? Yes.
Yes. And then he ran off
you for a little bit, and then went and became someone else. And who knows what will happen to that Ditto? Maybe it'll start a family, maybe it won't. But regardless, you have your Pokemon.
What about Pokemon?
We have our Pokemon, Angel.
Yes. Back to the Poke Center. You've gone there, you've come back, you're walking out of the Poke Center, and Kira is stopped by the Ghastly because it is in fact time to return the stone to the tree.
Lance, Faith, I gotta go return the stone to the tree. I'll catch up with you guys. Let's go, Ghastly.
And as you go with the Ghastly, the trip there is a long one. Maneuvering around the very busy streets of Evening Oasis and finding your way through various alleyways using them as shortcuts to get past heavy loads of traffic. At some point in time, you're walking down one of the streets, and unfortunately, Snorlax fell asleep in the middle of the road. Just full on fell asleep in the middle of the road. And it would have been fine, but most of the strong Pokemon weren't there at that moment in time. So it was just laying there, and people were trying to lift it off the road. Someone had to get a forklift. Not great.
The forklift is destroyed.
Yes. It was just here having machinery breaking and busting as you're walking down another one of the alleyways. But as you're navigating, you can give me.
I just hear it.
You just hear it on the other side of the street. It's not pleasant.
It's really not. That
the
is
other
fun,
guys,
man.
Snorlax is having a wonderful time just sleeping it all off.
Well,
Snorlax, you sleep talk. You snore.
And then he killed most of the people there by accident. or on purpose.
just rolling in his sleep. And there goes those people. He doesn't even know he did it.
But as you're going through, give me survival
Survival.
or
Survival.
perception. Either one.
They're both 2, so either one.
Good enough.
6. 6. I was
So-
about to say, you know what? This is just some beautiful dirt.
It could have
Hey,
been.
hey, that's perception.
Nope. Same thing with survival.
He was just tasting the dirt.
If it's
Subvert-
survival,
There's some taste.
if it's survival, oh hey, paper cut.
Well, that's for you. It's for me actually tasting the ground.
Listen, that's how it works, right? You taste a little bit of it, and you can get all the tracks you need where you're supposed to go. But
This way.
during your nature hunt of sorts, you are able to keep on a decent pace without getting turned around too much in the city as you and Ghastly continue to make your way out of the city. It doesn't take too much longer before there you are at the entrance of the Evening Oasis, the entrance to the city, and back towards Route 2. And as you return out here, you see that once again, Poke wildlife is in full bloom of sorts, as you see a large quantity of them occupying one of the small, we'll just call it a lake, essentially, that's right outside the city. Mostly a slew of water Pokemon and some grass types. You see that up ahead of you is a similar sight. And in that, hold on, where is it? Did I put it here or did I put it all the way over there? I did put it over there. Why I put it over there? Who knows? I don't know. I'm not sure why.
You don't know. I don't know. They don't know. This box doesn't know. We're just gonna move on. Here we go. Just kidding. Wait, Sakura.
Yeah.
You doing it? You winning? You got it?
There we go.
You did it. You did it. You finished it off.
I did. I killed
Proud
it.
of you. Proud of you. You do well.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, as we drag this, oh geez, back into play
Oh,
to the front.
the old map.
Welcome back to the desert, boys.
as we resume.
Still
Does
surprised
it
you
thing.
did not find a Gobite out here. I'm still surprised. Meaning Gibble. Still surprised you did not find a Gibble.
Wait a minute.
Sometimes you just don't gibble.
That's
Me
true.
and Faith didn't go with you. What are we doing over there? Get. Okay, we're all good
Listen,
now.
They're with me in spirit. I keep on hearing them in my head.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
Just kidding.
your spirits
didn't
will
bring the-
always be there.
Damn it! You didn't bring the ones from the other one. I gotta edit all of these. Maybe.
You think I bring things?
Yes.
I only occasionally do that. Anyway, as you return here, you see, or you come upon familiar spots. The place where you did battle with the Bronzor, that is now the Ghastly next to you, and the areas in which, you found some of the lesser items along your journey. But putting away your thoughts of that battle and all that took place, the hand nub of the Ghastly basically just redirects your vision towards a pathway that you didn't see the first time you were walking down this route.
Do I have like a general idea where the path route is and where he's pointing at?
Yeah. For your eyes, so that, you can essentially see it, but just use your mind in this direction.
Okay. So we're gonna go that way, Ghastly.
Yes. This is the path to the tree.
Ghastly.
Huh. Alrighty. Well, let's go start. Zansit, stop looking at that gravesite. That is where you murdered this Ghastly.
But I can't help appreciate all of my good work. Sometimes I just like to think back to myself of all my many conquests. Before you caught me, I'll tell you what. That Pikachu was never the same. Stepped on his face. Stepped all on his face. Anyway. Yeah, you're right. I'm right behind you.
You know what, Zansit? You're definitely gonna have to tell me these stories, Tell me these stories!
I mean...
I need to know.
Oh, man. If I could go back in time. And as Zanzis gets lost in various thoughts and regales you of times where him and the larger portion of the Eevee gang, before it was just 3, picked a fight with various fighting type Pokemon at some point.
Machop! Hitmonlee! Hitmonchan!
Picked a fight with Hitmonchan, Hitmonlees, a Tyroge.
And one time an Ursaring. Wait, what?
Just cuz. Just
Yes.
really just cuz.
Just cause you can.
It's the forest. And there was a lot of them, but that's why there's not as many of the Eevee gang.
So that's what happened to the Pikachu. So that's what happened to the Pikachu's head, the other fighting type Pokemon. You dominated them. Good God.
I earned my right as the boss.
You did, Zantit.
We'd sent Zoe in first, and they ignored it. We feared for their lives.
Biggest mistake. Biggest mistake ignoring Zoe. Oh my God.
It was a sad time. But as you and Zanzis are having this conversation and you're following behind the Ghastly, you see as he maneuvers past various outcroppings of rocks that wedge up the way, and you have to kind of crawl through and jump over some things. Give me acrobatics for some of these.
You better not fail this. I'm not around to give you a retry.
Crawling in my crawl.
You got this. I believe.
Acrobatics. That's it.
Look at that. You're a friggin' athlete. Born for this.
1.5 athletes, thank you.
How dare you?
What? You
God.
have 2 die. You rolled a 6 on one and a 4 on the other. You're 1.5 of an athlete.
Dang, you're right.
I mean, that ain't bad. That means you're, 1.5. You're more. Plus ultra. But
Plus ultra. But oh my god. Meanwhile, oh my.
As you slide through various tight spaces and leap over rocks, you find yourself coming up to this almost kind of like a circular area of sorts. It's very enclosed, and the only path in and out seems to be the path you just took. There is sand everywhere, but it seems like there is a ring of water that leads around and ends and meets itself in front of you. And beyond the ring of water, there lies a vast amount of foliage, bushes, flowers, berry bushes, things of that nature. And in the center, there is this large, ancient looking tree. It looks like it's been here for at least maybe 4 or 5 decades. It is bent almost in a C-shaped kind of way. And you see that various roots have come up out of the ground and twist and mingle within one another. But there in the center of the tree, there looks to be a hole of sorts. But it looks more, as you get a closer look, like a slot. And it looks a lot like the shape of the moonstone.
Smeagol.
No. No. Just no.
Good God. Wow, this.
Oh, go ahead.
Wow, this place is beautiful. This tree has been here for a lot of years.
It has been there for many, many lifetimes.
You guys must have took really good care of this place.
Yes. Myself and those of my kind have watched over this tree for millennia. And I was its last guardian. But that is of little concern now. The most important thing is that you take this stone, as he reaches inside of his mouth and pulls out the stone, placing it in your hand, and affix it to that slot in the tree.
Alrighty. As I put the stone where the ghastly told me to put it.
Okay.
There we go.
Good. And as you look upon the tree once more, you see as the stone itself begins to spark out in these lines of a sort of mythical energy. And All of the lines act as like veins, and it reaches throughout the tree and around it. And you see as it begins to shake and it begins to stir itself almost out of what looks kind of like a slumber, as you see the bent tree begin to sort itself, and it begins to right itself upwards. You see many of the roots begin to untangle and they begin to fuse back into the ground. You see that some of the bushes that were just bushes, almost all of them have various pokeberries upon them now. And there seems to be a flush of life to the river surrounding this tree, as you see and hear various water Pokemon swimming in and out of the ring itself. As you do so, looking over towards the Ghastly, there is a very, I guess the word would be just a satisfied expression on his face as he looks back to you as well. Thank you. All has been made right. For now.
For now.
Hopefully, the next. And my line will find this tree, as all those before me have. And it will be guarded once again. But in doing this, I must now ask you, what is it that you desire of me?
Well, I'm gonna give you a choice. A pull poke, place it on the ground. I know there's a lot of stuff you can't forgive me for. Mainly, Zonzits! Looking at you, Zonzits.
I mean, I don't know if you're looking at me for an apology or what. I'm not giving.
I know.
I can't give it now.
I know you can't. I know you definitely can't. But I'm gonna give you an option, Ghastly. Either you can come with me, and I can show you the rest of this beautiful world, and take you to places you have never been before, or you can guard the stone, and you can do whatever you see fit. I leave this up to you. What do you feel like doing?
The Ghastly ponders for a moment, looking towards the ball and towards the tree. He looks back up towards you. I have seen that you possess a good heart, despite our altercations and the loss of my life. It seems you are not an evil entity that I believed you were. As for your allies, I have yet to find the proper jury. But I believe it would be a better use of my time to make sure that you do not steer off this path of kindness and possible righteousness. And to that end, I will instead watch over you.
So, you're coming with then? I
Yes.
see. Well, now that brings us to another crossroad for me and you. I do not know if you want to go on this Pokeball willingly, or would you want to battle?
I care not for battle now. It is not something that I feel is proper at this point in time. And the ball itself just kind of levitates up, floats back up into your hands, or into your hand, either way. Roll me that 1d20.
1d20. Off to the races, folks.
Oh dear!
Good
Oh dear!
God!
Oh,
What?
no.
What in God's name? By God! By God Almighty! That
It
guy's
literally levitates to him, and yet somehow completely misses.
I'm like, did you miss?
Okay. Afro, I want to hear this. I want to hear this Nat 1 description. Go!
I need to hear this.
Okay. Thankfully, because Pokemon wants to go with you, it auto succeeds anyway. It's fine. It's cool. Shush. No one saw anything. Anyway, I worked up too much to get to this point for that one to screw up all of my plans. So anyway, the Pokeball goes towards the Ghastly. Roll me 1d100, please. Gosh darn it.
This dice is it. Okay, what the hell are you doing?
Cool. That works out. That's great. That's good. Okay. And the Ghastly is absorbed into the ball. The ball.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's just...
Ball shakes twice, flips over on its back, and then pops open again.
It just begins spinning very rapidly in the air before it just makes a sort of pop sound, and you see a light that was glowing red finally dull out. And with a click, Ghastly is a part of your team. I'm
sorry. I just think that's the most funniest thing I've ever seen.
And then for some reason, Ghastly just stays in the tree after all of that.
His ears comes out.
It's like
Ghastly.
I don't know what to say here. It's just, did you want me to come with you, or was that just talk? I mean, what are we doing here? It doesn't matter. We're good.
Ghastly, it's okay. Everyone has a bad day. Just ask Stark about his shadow balls. Sorry. I'm sorry, Zans.
You shadow balls. What are you talking about?
Oh, I'm sorry. After this funny thing that just happened to Ghastly, I'm sorry. I mixed your name up in Zanzits. My apologies. My apologies, Stark.
You know what you did. I didn't even call for it. You didn't even have to talk about those. Nah. You just see Zion start to walk away.
Oh, God. This is gonna be one fun adventure. Jeez. But...
Stark just leaps onto your shoulder. Adventure! He points forward with his nostril. With his snout face.
Alrighty, well now. We now have 4. In the span of one day. Not only did we catch Shotaro, now we have the Ghastly. Wonder what I'm gonna name you.
Bronzor.
Bronze. You know that would just be like the most funniest thing. Just name it Bronzor. Like Bronzor.
It's just like, I got this Bronzor. Go. It's like they're like, yes.
They're like, that's not a Bronzor!
Your steel type will be defeated by my fire, and it's just Ghastly. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
I seem
Wait.
to have been mistaken.
You have been mistaken. You know what? That's fitting. You know, from now on, it's Bronzor. It's Bronzor. No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't.
No.
That'd be a cold piece of ham. Right
It
there.
would! It
There
would!
would be one very cruel joke between the three of us.
It would? Well, with soccer hair, it would be a cool joke between the four.
I did Kira, Faith, and Lance.
Oh, yes. You know, for you.
You'd go to throw out Ghastly and go like, go Bronzer, and we'd both just be like,
Oh man, Ghastly would just turn to you and just be like, "But why?"
He would just go like two gas at heart, just like, why? Why?
Of all the colors of the rainbow, you chose the wrong one.
Hey, it wasn't me.
How you lose your Pokemon in less than 24 hours.
This wasn't me. Zan just came up with the name.
Alright, name your damn Ghastly so we can get going.
And I'll send you the stuff.
Yeah, send me.
Text form.
Yeah, send me that so I can.
Image form.
Yeah, send me that right now so I can just work on it. I'm gonna go. I will be the deaf and while I work on this stuff.
Fred, what the fuck is that?
So, you want
I
to
really don't want to look. I don't.
What? What happened?
I don't
Let's go
know,
look
but
by
I
Z.
heard.
Don't know what you're talking about. Brad, what did you do?
Just look by
It's
Z.
I just don't. I don't care. I don't want to know. I don't care, and I don't want
Let
to
me
know.
see.
You don't want
Let
to
me
know,
s-
Afro. You don't.
What? In God's name? What? Brad! What is that?
Having a good time. Having a
Alright,
good
Afro,
time.
let's just go. Ignore the bread, glove, face, creature thing.
What the heck is that? Okay. Okay, I'm going. Okay, it's gone. I was gonna be like, I'm gonna put this character sheet over there and pretend it does not exist. Move it on.
Okay, now it's Ginger Man playing basketball. It's a little better.
Oh yeah. I'm just gonna move them back here while we transition to Faith and Lance.
Indeed.
So Faith and Lance, take it away.
Speaking of Faith and Lance, what in the sweet Sam Hill do you think you're doing?
Well, the last time we were here, you know,
Mhm.
I was
Yeah.
getting everybody gathered up to go. Unknowingly to them, you know, go help Absol, but
You're gonna go help Absol.
Kira ran off on his own, so I guess it's just me and Faith running off.
Yeah, I was actually gonna ask. I was gonna get the gassy after because that was kind of set it up during the end of the stream, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhat.
So,
It is a dog. That is a fluffy dog.
but then I follow what you put out there, Soccer.
Hey, I'm glad you did. Because if for some reason we had to go back in time and do it again, I would shoot someone.
So Kira is going to have no idea where to find us.
I mean, you have literal phones.
Oh yeah, we do have phones.
Literal phone, Pokédex.
I forgot about the phones. Okay, and you covered up all of our Pokemon.
I did.
My Pokemon's been buried in the sands of time. All right.
If you wanted an apology, you're gonna have to have higher faith on that.
Okay, hold on.
All right,
I'm gonna roll for
yes.
for education. Give me a moment. And it's a 1. Ah, just some good dirt.
Keeping the faith.
But send me it when you're ready, Sakura. I'm all set for it.
Cool.
I just gotta go find the art for guess.
That sounds like a plan. Let me see if I can do something here. There we go. Give us a moment. I have created that which is undoable.
Also, BRB.
Okay. What the sweet Sam Hill?
All right. Well, then I guess. All right. If I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, Afro. The well, I don't think we had. It was a. So what time is it, Afro? In game.
In the game?
Yeah.
At this point in time, it's, I believe I set it up where it was like getting towards like the point where one would normally like go to bed, because like maybe 9 or 10 p.m. In game, because you spent the whole day chasing after Pokemon and dealing with fires, fighting slugs, and otherwise being nuisances. Handy dandy nuisances. So yeah, it's like, we'll say it's just like full on 10 p.m. I believe I said
It'll be fine. We can save Absol tonight.
saving Private Absol.
But I believe, if I remember correctly, you said something. It was sand something, and that's where he got distracted and cut off.
Sand.
No, like that's literally all I got out of it was sand. Or sandy something.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you made some educated guesses.
No, I hadn't. We hadn't gotten that far. I was literally just gonna go up and see if I can find somebody that can point me into a direction of places that have Sandy in their name.
Beautiful.
It's either that or I was gonna have to use Houndour or Eevee to try to track that Absol or Stay Puff.
So yeah, I guess in this case, let's do some talking. Why don't we? And some educated detective work. As you ask around for sandy areas.
All right. Do I see Officer Drew or an Officer Drew anywhere nearby?
Give me perception.
I was already on my way down to it. This is some nice dirt. Slightly better than the other one. The other dirt.
Why do you love dirt so much?
Well, I will only love dirt as much as I can until, I get a third fucking die.
And there was the sinkhole. The sinkhole. That was the name of that motel. I'm going to tell you right now, it's not hard enough for you to have missed just because you rolled the 7.
I'm the back.
Welcome back. So, oh my gosh. It doesn't. It really doesn't. So you find yourselves essentially wandering around and looking for Officer Drew and Officer Drew. And you definitely see them. Officer Drew has in his hands what looks like a briefcase. And he's coming out of what looks like a crime scene. There's like police tape set up, and what are all the Pokemon that have hands? Hand Pokemon.
I don't know. It depends. What kind are you looking for?
Ones that look more humanoid than anything else. They look, very humanoid-esque.
Machop, Gardevoir, Choke, Smeagol, Mr. Mime.
What the heck is a Smeagol again?
Smeagol's the painting one.
Oh, yeah.
Technically Jinx.
Let's just say a Gardevoir.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a Gardevoir dressed up in
Gothorita.
whatever
Lopunny.
the police photographers usually have on. But yes, taking photographs of the crime scene.
If you're trying to say it's like a news reporter type, you're probably better off going with a Smeagol. Or Smeargle,
Those
yeah.
painting ones. What do they look like? I need an image.
That requires work.
Give me work. Smeargle. Oh yeah, they fit that bill perfectly.
Yeah, they're literally an artist type Pokemon.
That's what they're called, crime scene photographers. So yeah, you have basically a Smeargle, crime scene photographer, taking photos of what looks like this chalk outline of one is of a person that looks like, they're at least the height of the person is probably in like their teens. And then next to them in the other chalk outline is one of a what is that friggin' Pokemon called?
Describe it.
Pokemon? They are a grass type.
Mm-hmm.
They look more or less like not like a cabbage, but they're very leafy.
Bidoo? No, but oh yeah.
Yes.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah. It's a friggin' Badoo. Yeah, so you see the Badoo and you see the person, and the person is in this very estranged pose. But again, it's on like the ground, so it's it's always estranged. But you see that various other officers, actual other officers, are here and are working the scene, getting reports from onlookers. But you see Officer Drew leaving the seeing going over to his probably never ever really used that much police cruiser and putting the briefcase inside. And then as he's heading back around, he spots the two of you. And yeah, you manage to, catch him in the nick of time before he's otherwise unavailable. As he looks to the two of you. And what can I help you two with?
I have a question for you.
Ask away.
Looking for a place. I didn't catch the full name of it, but it's someplace around here. It's starts with the word sand or sandy.
Yes, Sandy.
Probably somewhere all the rough and tough criminals like to hang out. I would assume.
Well, I mean, there's a place that I won't really direct you to called the Sandstorm, where lowlives have been known to mingle. A few busts here and there in a place like that. But again, I'm not obliged to tell you of a location like that. Have the two of you get into any kind of untoward, well, funny business.
Oh, trust me, I have no intentions of getting into funny business. I need to look good for the contests later.
I hear that's going to be quite the spectacle, so I'm glad to hear it. But let me see here. You're probably thinking of something else here. Let me see. Sandy. There's Old Sandy's. It's a local little restaurant, not too far from
that
here.
doesn't sound like a place I'd probably be looking for. Maybe someplace more abandoned-ish style.
I know that.
Probably a good place to hide if you're a scared individual or a Pokemon of sort.
Well, funny you should mention something like that. Old abandoned house way up about north of here. Well, a few ghost types like to hang out.
Not
Called
really looking for a ghost type, but
I think it was called the Sand Scarab. The person who named that house was a bit of a wacko, honestly. I didn't like the guy.
pretty sure almost
but
everybody in this town that's named anything is a wacko.
Thinks for a moment. I'm not going to take offense to that. I'm going to take it as a compliment.
Did you name anything here?
I did, in fact.
What did you name?
He points over to, he points over to what looks like the bakery, that only Kira went into. What on earth did I name that?
I don't
friggin'
remember.
Bakery?
Fred, do you remember?
What was it? I'm just gonna call it the Onion. Because I don't remember.
Okay, Onion it is. You really need to start writing these down in a notebook somewhere.
I do. I thought I would remember. I usually remember most of my locations and like places that I mentioned, but my thoughts have been other places a lot. So yeah. Um, but yeah, the onion sounds good. It's something I'll remember,
All right,
and
onion. Got it.
it's right there. We're coming back into it. That place over there, the onion. I named that.
And it's a lovely
Now
name.
I only got to name it because I helped get it off the ground for the person who does own that bakery. But still, it's not that bad. There's worse places. There's some place called the
Sinkhole.
exactly that
Exactly.
disgusting mess of
See, look,
place.
onion. It's a wonderful name. Now back to the topic at hand, though.
The satire star. See, you joke, Brad, but that's an actual place here.
Let's see. So far we have the Sand Scarab and the Sandstorm.
Sand Scarab's the abandoned house that I mentioned north of here. Well, Sandy's the restaurant. She said that probably wouldn't float your boat. And
Yes.
I very much so cannot, nor will I, give you any more about the sandstorms. No, it's a place that people ain't supposed to go that are of the up and up. Scum of the earth inhabit that place. It ain't any place
It's
that two of
fine.
you
It's
kids
fine.
should be going.
I don't. Hopefully, I don't have to go there.
Well, if you need a ride to the sand scare, because it's at this point it's not necessarily a tourist attraction, but it's not some place that is prohibited from access. I can take you there. You just have to promise me you'll be safe.
Oh, trust me.
Pokemon aren't always nice and friendly types that like to engage and join in trainers like yourselves in whatever journey you may be on.
Never fear,
Sometimes they're
Officer
very
Drew.
violent.
Me and Faith will be absolutely, positively safe.
I'm gonna take your word on it. So you kids know how to handle yourselves, and I appreciate that. You helped out me and Officer Drew here
Exactly.
a couple of times, and I heard about the barn. Some good work you did there.
I thank you.
But have yourselves a seat in the car, and we'll be driving out.
Okay. Was there any other places that you'd care to mention?
It used to be called the Sand Bowl, but it's been changed since then because the person who named it thought it was dumb. Uh, I believe its new name is Dustopia. It's a refinery owned
Hmm.
by local oil baron here. For some reason, I couldn't tell you why they thought that the change in name would be better. I personally think they're both dumb, but I'm not the one who named the place. Dust. I even forgot the name just now myself. But yeah, it it's not the best place name wise, but it's an old oil refinery owned by a man named Spring, and
Okay.
he's recently come to town. He's
Hmm.
been buying up a lot of things, and that refinery is one of them.
I see.
Sad for all the people who work there. I wouldn't call him evil.
I wouldn't.
Probably a
I wouldn't
little,
call a lot of people evil, but
but sometimes they
evil is a
are.
matter of opinion
And perspective.
and perspective.
That is
But
true. That is
yes,
true.
if you could give us a ride, that would be very grateful.
Of course. He's starting up the car, and you're being to drive, and Officer Drew, the Drudagon, hops onto the hood of the car. What am I saying? She doesn't hop onto the hood of the car. She just flies. gets into the
Doesn't have
skies and
wings.
begins to fly over with
Oh, yeah,
the
doesn't
lot of
know.
you.
Ignore me. So, Faith, quick question. If you were an absol and you were hiding, where would you go out of those places that he named? Evra.
Let me see here. I'm actually trying to think of it, but yeah, no, intuition would work there. Tight. You have a pretty solid guess that he got it. You have a pretty solid guess. It's the worst that it would probably be the if anything, it most likely feels like it'll be the sandstorm.
Fucking damn it.
Like you have a solid feeling that a place like the sandstorm is probably a place that the absol wouldn't go willingly, but would definitely run there by accident, just because it is a Pokemon that doesn't have the best luck out of all of the others. So it would end up there whether it wanted to or not.
Hmm. Now the question is, how are we going to find out how to get there?
And as you're driving by, I should mention that you see a very varying amount of sights, but give me perception as you're being driven up the road and up a hill
Fucking
over
hate
the
my
sand
perception.
scarab.
I really do.
Don't worry, your eyeballs aren't that bad. So as you're both looking on, it's hard to see at first, and you aren't sure what you saw was the most valid of things, but you saw a little spot
You know what? Hold up.
right off the road.
Wait a minute.
Hmm.
I got it.
Are you sure you want to do that, Chief?
Fred, roll again. Just in
Okay.
case.
All right.
With a bonus equal to my skill rank, which is 2. 10! You can see slightly better. It's worth it. I can use that 3 times.
My gosh. My friggin' gosh. All right. So you definitely see a place where for whatever reason you don't see the absol, but you see someone fitting the build of that man dressed up in that
Goddamn Stay Puft Man.
the terrible Stay Puft outfit. But this time it's not the same outfit, which kind of throws you off. But you know the walk, and you can definitely see perhaps the outline of an absol in a bag sort of like a carry over your shoulder kind of bag, like a not duffel bag, but like sack almost, like hay sack or wheat sack or whatever the case, a sack. You can't use that Stay Puff anymore, Brad. You gotta use something different. In fact, don't use anything. I'll handle it. I'll handle it. I'll use something. I'll bring something out. But yeah, so you see someone matching his build, walking his walk, and strutting themselves into this detestable looking little area. Doesn't even look like a building more, so it looks like a hole in a wall and a cloth draped over it. And
Oh boy.
peels up the cloth, walks in. But you see that it's at the base of the hill. And you can only use your best guess to assume that that is, in fact, the sandstorm. But give me a moment because I have an eyelash in my eye that's stabbing me repeatedly.
All right, so now we gotta figure out how far away from, or either how we can get Officer Drew to stop the car, or how to get back to this place. Wonderful. We could. Oh, please. I can just charm it.
Okay. Whew. Let me see here. As you're having this conversation, you can see that you are fastly approaching a house on the hill. A fairly big house, not enough to be called a mansion, but not small enough to just be called like a, little small little home. It's like a 2-story building. And it definitely fits the bill of like a haunted house, as it just looks decrepit, worn down, and probably inhabiting phantoms of every nature.
I wonder how many Pokemon Kira has put here.
You definitely see a slew of Pokemon fly out of the building. Some of every variety. I forget what the stinking Pokemon's name is, but
Describe
it's
it.
like it has one eyeball and like a skull.
Duskull.
Duskull. Yeah.
Evolved form is Dusclops.
Yeah, but it's not the Dusclops. It's just the Duskull.
Duskull.
Yeah, you see a bunch of Duskulls floating out of the building. Fleeing? Maybe. Or maybe not. But as you pull up to the building, you do hear pained wailing from within. And as, terribly cliche as it may be, there is, lightning striking in the background atop this hill. Underground. For whatever reason.
Okay. Well, thank you, Officer Drew, for the ride.
It's my pleasure, but looking around, you sure you two want to be here?
Yes. I am in dire need of catching a ghost-type Pokemon.
You trainers. All right, well, be safe. And remember, if the buddy system fails you, Officer Drew won't. So call me immediately if you need me.
Your number's still 911, correct?
Yep.
Got it.
One the same. All right. You two take care.
Goodbye.
He closes the door of the police cruiser. Begins to drive off. Right up until runs out of gas. Gets out of the police cruiser. Takes the briefcase. Closes the trunk of his car. Gets on Officer Drew. Flies off. Lightning strikes. He's a little toasty. He's fine. Continues flying.
Faith, do you think he's far enough away yet?
Lightning strikes again. He goes down. Both of them go down. They're pretty far away at this point.
Alright, Faith, let's start heading back down the hill.
You... I don't think I'll have you roll much of anything for this. You just make your way down the hill.
Well, first off, Faith, we gotta find Stay Puft Boy and that absol. After that, probably the usual plan of beat the shit out of everything.
Take over the world. So
that's the backup plan. Okay, well, we go in there and charm our way through it, I guess.
You make your way down to the base of the hill and into the area that you saw that building, or not building, but lack thereof, a building located in. Here, dust just don't settle right. You see little pits made for Pokemon to fight in being used currently. As you see two, what are these wonderful little bundles of joy called?
Describe it.
As a matter of fact, I don't have to. I know what they are. It's you see two Woobats being pitted against each other, and you see people betting money to see which one expires from life first. You see a variety of very shady looking things going on in some of the alleys. Many a folk cast a glance at the two of you. You feel like you're being watched constantly as you're walking the streets here.
Yes, but you see, I know the trick to fitting in. Act like you belong.
How do you do this? I'm just curious now.
It's easy. Mean look.
Just gonna
Brett.
mean mug.
Mean mug. Everything. And not give a fuck about what anybody's looking at.
You know, it's working. But give me intimidate.
And this is where I'm gonna fail. Fucking knew it. Goddamn pair of threes.
So, as you mean mug a bunch of folks, dear me.
What the heck did I come back to? I'm still doing the character sheet and I'm seeing these rolls. What the
Don't
heck?
worry about it.
Guys,
We're
stop
failing
it.
at being intimidating.
God, do I need to be? Gosh darn. Let me finish this, and I'm gonna. God.
You gotta catch up to us first, boy.
Only one way. Max speed.
All right, come on, Afro.
Moving fast.
Give it to us straight.
Okay. So you're there trying to be rough and tough in this tumbly little area. And
I
at
have my
first,
backup plan at the ready.
you're doing just fine, Lance. Looking plenty tough and undesirable for someone to approach you with a knife and, demand everything you've got. But as you're walking through, kind of trip.
I do, or they do.
You do.
Okay.
You trip on what looks like just like this empty bottle, kind of crush it, and you don't
You're just
completely
smiling.
face plant.
God damn it.
You don't completely face plant. But as you get up, you look over to see Faith smiling and waving at people. And there's just grins on a few characters' faces, but it's not the ones that seem friendly. It's the ones that don't seem inviting at all and that you should run away from. Stranger danger type stuff. And
Seems the girl of our group
and
is
then the
attracted
phone
to some
rings.
very
Hold
weird
on.
attention. I suppose you're right. Well, thankfully, I always have a backup plan. And the backup plans, backup plan usually works better than the original plan anyway. Very true. Very true. Yes, that's one of our many backup plans. That's one of them. Me just charming the shit out of them all, everybody. It's usually the other backup plan. And then if anything, we just always have Kira to go around and murder everything. The base or force, the two F's of survival. Yes, quite. At some point, we're gonna have to remember to let Kira know where we're at. True. Very true. That is true. Kira would be lost without us. What I mean with Z and Eclipse would make a pretty good path of destruction. Everything will either be blown to pieces or burned. Exactly. Mm. Let's try to approach one of them first. Who knows? It could work out. Yeah, we're only looking for someone. We're not gonna be going around spreading rumors. Although it would be kind of funny.
Okay.
Welcome back.
Thanks, Al.
You're welcome.
So, I believe
That is true. But we did lie to him technically to get here.
what in the world?
Don't worry, me and Brett have been RPing while you were gone.
Cool. Also, as the two of you were continuing on, you see the hole in the wall that the
Stay Puff went through.
individual went through. Yes. And right here in this part of, we'll just say, the less desirable district, do you enter?
Yep, Fuck it. We've gone this far. Why not? Act like we belong, right? I don't know, Faith. Haven't gotten that far. It's kind of winging it right now. Yep. Yeah, that's about right.
As the discussion of plans is underway, you wander in to this den of foul stenches. You see folks sorting of every form of nature.
No, that's Crystal's house.
Illegal poffins being injected into the veins of various Pokemon.
You do know what a puffin is, right?
Yes.
It's a fucking cupcake.
Yep. It's being injected.
What the fuck?
It's being injected into Pokemon's veins.
I'm sorry, what?
Okay.
What?
You see that there are a number of individuals in here that look like they probably belong far, far away from, any place that has a tight wad of Pokemon or money, as either could be stolen at any given moment, along with the lives of the individuals unwilling to give them what they want. But looking around here, you definitely see in one of the little back areas, you see a man wandering further into this den of misdeeds and poor decisions. And another thing that you see, odd to both of you, you see
Klondike Barman.
a trainer. No, you've already seen him. You see him wandering in further into this den. But you see in one of, it's not so much a booth, but it's more like just like off to the side, the left and side of this place. You see Heath. You see Heath without Atherin. Heath the Pokemon. Heath the Pikachu. Without Atherin. You look around, you see Atherin's cap next to Heath. And you see no sign of the person that the cap was wearing. Gosh darn it. Yes, it's
Well,
come to
either
your
that or we're gonna have to
realization.
save an idiot too.
Heath did drugs, all the heavy drugs. He was popping steroids into his
Because
Pokemon.
chances are, if anything, he's probably here for because of the same people we're here for. So unwillingly, we will end up saving him. And if at
Do you
all
perceive
possible, we don't
into
have
the
to
den?
save him. Don't worry. I'm not here for him.
Do you do anything with the obviously not,
Story plot.
yeah, the side story plot? Heath is currently being bet over by a few individuals as he's in the center of a large sum of cash, and looks, you'd think probably terrified, but no. Kind of like a cornered animal that has turned ever so vicious. He sits in the middle, death glaring at everyone at the table as they bet over him and they play their twisted poker game over the fate of this Pikachu.
How many people are there?
There are, in fact, 4.
Yeah, I really wish I had smoke screen right about now. But unfortunately for everybody else, I do have another way of... That's true.
And then you just cast Sandstorm, and everybody in the bar just chokes on grains of dust.
How'd you know I was thinking of Sandstorm?
Just a guess. Just a guess.
Well, like Faith said, we also have fire too.
You do.
All
You
right,
have
Faith.
a lot.
Should we set something ablaze or try to throw sand in everybody's eye at the same time with Sandstorm?
And thus vigilante justice finally began in earnest. I knew then, those kids, they were going to change something, shake up the world, set it on fire, eat hot pockets, never say excuse me when they belch. They were going to change it all. Change. It tastes a lot like green tea.
Yes, but shouldn't we at least try to help Heath at least? Heath is the cool one out of the two of them.
Then I ate more apple pie.
I
Wait.
mean, his only crime is loving ketchup way too much. Okay, well, after is there anybody that we see that looks like they could hold information that's not currently betting on Heath or bidding on Heath?
Injected paper into my throat. So you see that there is, in fact, someone who looks like they organized all this. Just by the way they carry themselves and the fact that they look like they have a very deep interest in what happens to this Pokemon. Standing off to the side, basically hanging on a wall, watching the whole ordeal go through. Some ways away from this betting
Got it.
table.
Enough said. Just gonna walk up to him.
Looks over to you. You lost something?
No, I was actually kind of curious as to what's going on over there with the Pikachu.
Just a friendly little game.
Oh, what would the game be exactly? Might be interested in participating.
I had half a mind to make just right off the bat a make-believe version of Pokemon cards, but we're just gonna keep it simple. It's just gonna be Angel. You a poker kind of guy?
Poker?
Yeah.
Not really. I mean, I know a little bit how to play it, just not a whole lot.
All right. between you and Bread. Bread, what about you? You know of the game, how it's played, so on and so forth.
So together we make neither of us have a decent amount, only have a decent amount of knowledge of it.
All right. So in this great game of things, I'm full on tempted to go with this, and honestly, it just makes sense for how I run these campaigns that it's going to be a Pokemon version of Uno that sounds so much not like Uno.
Uno. Oh God.
Yes. Yes.
The Uno shit
Yes.
follows me into this. Okay. Poker or Texas Hold'em?
Well, I mean, it was gonna be either of those, as long as one of you really knew the game, because I don't know really much about either. So I was gonna use your brain and just basically make that the card game that was taking place. But for the sake of not having you play an actual card game in this game, it was just gonna be on rolls anyway, so it didn't matter what version of the game it was. Uh
Well, if they're playing Uno, it's 7. Unless somebody's really good at their, got a really good hand. In which case they have, like, probably 2.
I'd say in this regard, it sounds nice. Come up with a really weird card game that involves Pokemon.
Blackjack.
That's not Blackjack. Give it a Pokemon name.
Black Mudsdale.
All right. Sure. Black Mudsdale is what is the name of the game he gives you.
I know how to play 21. I know that card game. I know how to play Blackjack.
Well, it's wonderful, but for this, we're just gonna have it be specifically on your rolls and your skills, and we'll see how it works out. Oh my gosh! So, as he looks to you and tells you the name of the game, I don't think kids like you two should be in a place like this. Well, me, far be it from me.
Don't make me do it. You know I will.
Do it. Just
fucking
do it.
Charm found it!
So as
All
you
low
try to
rolls.
be the smoothest of the smooth, Faith thankfully says the magic words that you have money.
We do have money.
So as he looks you both up and down, well, hey, money's all that matters, right?
Money makes the world go round.
Yeah, it does. All right. Slide yourselves on in.
Alright, but question
More
though,
the merrier.
is the Pikachu the prize, or was just somebody lost a
Yes.
bet?
I mean, it's a bit of both, really.
Well, yeah, true, honestly.
So yeah, the prize is the pot at the moment. And that little Pikachu right there in the center. Can't promise the little Spitfire won't cause you equal amounts of, well, frustration. But hey, it's
I made sure to
everything you
wear my
get.
rubber underpants tonight, it's fine.
I don't really know how to go forward with that. Just get in the gosh darn table.
Okay, fine, we're going. Come on, babe. Alright! So we play blackjack.
Fudge. Listen, I'm not gonna make you both play that game right now because we will be here for so much longer just playing that. So as you slide in and the dealer comes in giving everybody their cards, or not the dealer, but one of the other players starts dealing to everybody else once again. This new game, as the pot increases, it looks like the one dealing is the one who won last. But right now, you can give me, I want to say, of all the things you can give me, yeah, this works out just fine.
Okie dokie. Finally done here.
It is 400. 400 is the buy.
Sakura.
You're welcome.
What are we rolling?
Thank you. Sakura.
Either, yes.
I need the dices for these moves. Not show me any types of dice on this move sheet.
You can look
Yes,
it up
you gave
in the guidebook.
In guide.
The moves have all the dice there. It has the base, and then right next to it, it has things like 1d8 and so on and so forth. What do you mean?
Okay, my eyes must be playing tricks on me.
Like there's one for flick, and then the others are just abilities, so they don't have dice rolls.
Oh, there.
Yeah.
Ah, shit. Okay, me just being dumb then.
There's no damage dice to them. They're skills that if you roll them and you roll well, then they just work.
Ah. Okay.
Yeah. The only one that's an actual dice related one is the first one that I sent you.
Okay. Me just being stupid. Anyway, continue.
It's just a silly little thing called love. But glad I was able to help you out.
So
Thank you, buddy, and love you
roll.
The roll is either guile, intuition, or perception. Yeah.
All right, so I got a guile of 1 and then perception and intuition of 2. What's yours, Bread?
This is about to get very interesting.
All right,
So
so far we got Faith being the one sitting in.
My gosh. So, as the cards are being dealt, and people are looking at their hands, roll me your intuition. That'll do it. My gosh. Okay. So,
Don't worry about us, Zero. We're just saving your goddamn rivals Pokemon.
Zero's not here at the moment. I don't know who the Zero you're talking about, but please leave a message after the
I'm keeping it. All right, that's whatever you want, Bread. Whatever you want. All right, after what we looking at?
So, as you are dealt your hand, you look at it and you have a pretty solid one, Faith. As opposed to everyone else, and you can kind of see just by gauging their faces, their poker faces are pretty awful. You can tell that most of them don't have great hands, and yours is most likely better than all of theirs. So, it comes time to either fold or put the cards on the table. And as one by one, some fold and some throw down their cards. There's a high one in the roster, but as you put down yours, eyes go wide, and you realize that you, in fact, have the winning pair of cards. And oh my goodness. For some reason, Faith is, a card shark. It's possible. The roll is high. The charm is super high. We'll say on a friggin' 20. If you defy all the odds, Lance, you can goad them into betting more of their money. Charm of 20.
Nope.
Nope. Some of them walk away muttering this or that. A slew of curses just escaping their lips as they walk from the table. The one dealing just tells you to take your ill-begotten gains and get out of his face now and off his table. Yeah. So as you do so, Heath recognizes you both. Although it looks like he has been hyped up something crazy by which you can only tell to have been possible fights.
Either that or being injected by goddamn cupcakes.
You never know. He may have been puffed and injected.
Alright, so did we win Heath back?
I will definitely say that the man says nothing to you, Faith. It's just an exchange of eyes. And that probably is what you feel like, but you're not sure.
Yeah, that is a good question, Afro. The buy-in was 400. Does that mean we got 1,600 from?
It does. Your math checks out.
Okay, so we got 1,600 and a Pikachu.
Yes. As you see Heath, and besides everything that I mentioned before, he looks towards the two of you, and tiny hands cling to either of the two of you that's actually holding him. And they just cling to you. And he points towards the back room, or back rooms, into the cap that is on his head at the moment of Athens. And you'll have picked him up. So yeah. As as
Don't worry,
he
Heath. We'll
points
get you
towards the
some
back
ketchup
rooms.
later.
He looks over to you, Lance, and he shakes his head, waving his hands no, and just again points to the cap and then points to the back rooms and sort of what looks like a pleading look.
I mean, do you really want him back?
He puts a paw up to his forehead, just kind of downwards in embarrassment, and looks back up to you, kind of shrugs, nodding his head, yeah.
Should we go save the imbecile face?
He looks over, he looks back over to you, Faith.
Gotcha.
It was all nice with the little Pikas and the Pika Peas until it all went sour. It's he looks towards you, or not looks towards you, but nods to you, Faith, with a delighted smile on his face, like he's more than obliged to do this.
Alright, Heath, let's go save your imbecile.
As you march onwards towards the back of the den. Give me a second. Gotta load this up.
You know what's funny? Oh, one bread's trying to, wants to know if they can have Z sneak a peek first. But, our ages are, all in line with each other. And now our Pokemon count is all in line with each other. Kira's got 4, I've got 3, Faith has 2.
Gosh darn it.
Yeah,
always
it's just
matching.
reversed. Ages goes Kira being the youngest to me to Faith, and then our Pokemon, it's Kira has the most, then me, then Faith.
Jeez, a friggin' wheeze. To that end, I will definitely say you can try and see if Z can stealth in, get a lay of the land, before you go waltzing into the back of the den of thieves. For some reason, Arabian Nights starts playing in the background, and you're not really sure what to make of it.
Arabian Nights, Arabian Day.
Yes, exactly.
Something, 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 something.
Wow.
Forgot the rest of the words.
That actually reminds me, why is no music playing in here? Usually we would have music.
I've just not been really rolling with music as of late.
Well, that's okay.
But that being said, the stealth roll wholeheartedly goes through.
Oh my god.
I'm not there for the Magikarp song at the moment. I am not there, but it is definitely a thing. Oh, jeez. Okay. I'm good to go. As you have Z wandering through the eyes of Z, and only through Z, this being seen. I don't even know how I would go about saying this. You know what? Friggin'
Just give it to us straight, Doc. We can handle it.
All right. You said you got it, so I'll tell you how it is. You're missing both legs. Z sees, or we'll just say Z sees a Nidoran inside, running around, basically at the moment on the shoulder of what looks like one of the guards of the on the other side of the wall here to the inner sanctum of the den. And there looks to be a variety of Pokemon in here, most of which are being made to fight one another. There's a few, basically Krogunk fighting an Ekans.
Oh, the temptation is so strong.
All right. Now,
You little shit.
oh, you little snot no shit.
Or not you, but friggin' Z sees a hippopotamus currently being zapped, not zapped, being bitten into by a Sandile. And a Geodude picking a fight with a Baltoy. The Baltoy's winning. Baltoy. It looks from Z's perspective like there's just a slew of, well, fights going on. Let me see what you put here. So she comes back out, and with a paw kind of raised up in a motion to follow her, she nods. To you, Faith. But
Well, I
she
mean, I can try.
Oh, geez. It, from the way that you're being led, it looks like there's a small little hole that the two of you could probably fit in if you squoze yourself. Squoze. Past tense is weird, but if you began squeezing yourselves into the hole, you could make it. It would just be a very tight fit.
Faith, if we're squeezing in there, maybe perhaps I should go first. Because, you know, you're wearing a dress and all.
I'd like to address the faith in the room.
So, I'm gonna squeeze myself in first.
And as you're being led by Z, Lance, and as you're right behind Lance and Z Faith, you all make it, just putting one hand in front of the other, crawling your way in through this hole into an area that looks just like a series of fighting pits, first and foremost. Betting continues left and right. People are getting tossed out of this area for starting trouble. You see that up overhead, there looks to be a second floor where more of the corrupt, rich, and powerful are watching overhead the situations play out for these various Pokemon. Um, you see, and I don't think that I ever gave you a description of it. Never mind. I'm not going to tell you what you see. But what you definitely see that has nothing to do with things that you don't know about is Athen. You see him, or rather, I should say, Lance, you hear him thought wise, and Faith, you see basically tracks of his and can discern the position. The two of you kind of combined. Lance, you hear him lamenting about his life thus far, how he got into this mess.
It's been a long run. I picked on that Kira kid. Caught a Pikachu, picked on Kira some more.
You hear him talking about how on this journey he's done so much to become the best, only for his Pokemon to have been stolen from him. Heath to have gotten terribly injured, for him to have lost all of his money, his parents having no idea where he is, and probably may never actually see him again. It's just thinking about a lot, a whole lot. It's going through some Athen things. Exactly.
I want to be here so bad right now just to see him.
Yeah, well, you decided
crumbling.
to go off on your own. Until we call you or you call us, you're not going to know what's going on.
I mean, at any point in time, either one of you could definitely do so, but not here in this place.
Nope.
Uh,
My phone is set to silent.
For some reason, Rainbow Monkey starts playing. It's wonderful.
Rainbow monkeys, they're so very loud and super chunky.
Is that officially my ringtone? I swear to God, the amount of disrespect I have to deal with you two assholes. You know what? Screw this. Zonta's gonna mess up the place. Let's just make it entrance right now. Just kidding.
Go on, Afro, go on.
But Faith, you can see that there's a trail in this place. It looks like it's a circular area, right? From the hole that you came into, to the right of you is basically the area that looks like it leads back outside to where you just were. But inside, you can see that there is like an area where it looks like the kitchen is for food and whatnot to be brought out. Two large double doors, and then on another side, it looks like there's basically a back room, and you can see footprints essentially, and more like scuff marks on the floor. that indicate to you that someone was recently dragged into that back room. And you have a hunch. Your intuition's pretty high, so you have a hunch. Atherin may be in there. Just a hunch. Could be wrong.
Could always be the wrong.
Could just be a sack of potatoes named Atherin.
Named Atherin. Gosh darn it.
But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not, but I mean, we also need to find a way to get to him, so. I don't suppose you see Stay Puft Boy or our friendly neighborhood Absol anywhere.
As folks, and by folks I mean guards are making their rounds, definitely give me that stealth.
Stealth.
You're putting an awful lot of faith in our ability to lie.
My God, that 15. Holy sheep. Stealth is real.
Fudge.
Are we rolling for stealth?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The stealth is real.
Okay,
today.
so
How will Lance do? Let's find out.
huh. Hey!
Oh, nice.
I'll take that.
Take that 10.
Look at you two.
That's 2 from the highest I can possibly have.
Congratulations! You do well.
You do well.
Mm-hmm.
But the two of you managed to stay out of the vision of any of these guards as you stick to the shadows and continue to make your plans. But what do you do? What plans have you made?
Well, chances are Zero's probably gonna be the only one that gets this reference, but we could always burn it down.
Burn it down! I get you. I get you. You could. That is an option. You could just burn it down. But what about Africa? What about?
You know, we gotta find Stay Puft and Absol.
And then burn it down.
Yeah, Afro, do we pick up any traces of Absol?
I'm gonna tell you this. Assume whatever you may, but you do, for the absol, coming from the kitchen area.
The absol's in the kitchen. Get back in the kitchen.
Okay, so zany chefs that are here for the first day of work. Got it.
Yes.
It's probably.
All right. So we're putting faith in either charm or Faith's ability to lie.
My gosh.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. I need to know which of these two paths you go down before I have you roll anything.
What's
Are you
our
trying to get to the
path?
door? Towards the kitchen, there seems to be the aura of the absol.
Mm-hmm.
in the room currently that has explosives next to it.
Oh, there's explosives, huh?
Yes.
This
Crap.
wasn't information we were given a minute ago.
It wasn't. I ruined it.
This shit
No.
just got a lot more explosive.
No. In the back room, where someone was dragged, basically, and the kitchen, where you know that there is in fact an absol. Those are your options at the moment. But how you choose to pursue them is up to you.
Well, yeah. What are their locations to each other? Where the back door and the kitchen area?
So the back area looks like it is opposite of this kitchen. So it's
So more or less on the opposite sides of the room.
yeah, one's on the left, one's on the right.
Got it.
Kitchen's on the left, bathroom's on the right.
Afro.
I am still a potato.
A potato?
So let me see here. I would definitely say that the kitchen at the moment is the one with more guards. Out of the two. The back room has one guard next to it. The kitchen has at least 3 that are periodically just walking in between each other. I will wait for your message before I answer anything else.
Sounds like a plan, Faith. Well, our usual tactics is our charm, and if that fails, beat him to a pulp. So outside of that, I have no ideas. If we had Kira, we could use him as a distraction, but...
Gosh darn it.
Screen. You
No,
okay,
my screen
bud?
keeps like going black.
Oof. That's not good.
So for the Pokemon, you can clearly see that the one guard next to the back room is the one with the Nidoran.
Oh, Nidoran.
And then the 3 look like they have a culmination of, I believe I will go back to it. Going back to the past.
Now, hold on, wait a minute. Which Nidoran, though?
Which Nidoran?
Yes, is it the male or the female?
Yeah. Nidoran.
Yeah, you know they're spelled the same, right?
Are they?
Yes.
It's
there's the blue one, and then there's the purple one.
Oh yeah, they don't start getting different names until like the second evolution. But
Yeah.
it's the male one. It's the male Nidoran.
Okay, so the purple one. Okay.
But yes, you see
Darn.
the Nidoran. You see for the other guards a Meditate. That's no, not that. Mean.
That is true.
Mean Fu.
And if anything, we can always just throw
And a sulk.
have Tyrant start a sandstorm in the middle of the fucking room.
Let me get back onto the right page here. Give me a second.
Got you, buddy.
I don't know. Did Afro walk away?
No.
Oh, did you say Medicham or Meditite?
Meditite.
Meditite.
Yeah. Me, myself, and I, apart from having various technical problems, as my screensaver is trying to fight me on who gets to use the computer at the moment, I had a brief moment where, despite how much sugar I've been injecting into myself so that this doesn't happen, I am fading, looking for my second win at the moment. So, pardon me as I have to keep standing up, sitting down, standing up, sitting down. So, if at all I'm not looking at your text, it's because I am doing one of those things.
Okay.
Maybe. You can try it. The poor Krogonk.
Krogan ain't gonna see it coming. Let me see.
True, but okay, let's try that. Let's go. Yeah, target whichever one you want. Yeah.
I should mention that the Krogan is one of the ones currently in the pit fighting Pokemon.
I think that was the intent. Have one of the guards Pokemon interrupting a fight going on.
I mean, definitely make the roll.
What role?
For the illusion? Isn't there one, or can you just do it? It's just an ability?
Yeah. Yep.
Fancy. All right. I mean, that's the benefit and the problem with fighting types.
Those fighting types.
Give me a second here.
Catch that one, Afro.
Give me just a moment. Okay. I did not. So let me see.
Alright, step one is to have Z get close enough to blast him and be between the pit and the guards, so it's more likely for people to believe it.
All right. I believe there's something to roll here. See if things go as they should. For the sake of it all, since the actual Metatite is, still there, just patrolling with the guard, to be able to do this without the plan just immediately failing because there's two of only one Pokemon supposed to be there. Give me stealth. And then good. And then roll the attack. Pretty sure the Krogunk fainted.
Poor little combat
Doesn't
frog.
look my type.
I mean, I can try.
Those are
Hasn't
all
been working out so well so far today.
Alright.
Oh yeah.
To do what to do.
The charm is strong with this one.
19. That's a very powerful charm.
Afra.
Okay. Yeah, the Krogunk fainted. Hold on. So, tell me what you tell the people as you try to charm them. As the Krogunk currently in the pits just faints and takes an injury as it's shot with a dark pulse in the back in the middle of its fight.
Let's see. That blasted guard Pokemon cheated and hit the Pokemon he was betting on win.
So lucky for you,
My
one of
God.
those guards, in fact, the one that you were talking about, or hopefully pointing to, was in fact trying to perform some underhanded, shady business that was less noticeable and, didn't run the risk of some snot-nosed kid spilling the beans on his plan. But essentially, that didn't work out for him. And so, as I shift towards the guy, he holds up his hands. Wait, hold on. Now I know how it looks, but
Get
and
him!
he just runs as fast as he can out of, or tries to run out of the building, being stopped by the other guards.
I just casually walk back to face.
Perf.
Okay, I think that worked.
The guy on the back room door secures his position as the other two guards chase after the one that was on the kitchen, leaving the kitchen open.
Yes, let's do this quickly. Alright, so we're going to the kitchen.
As you rush in, food fills the air.
Delicious
Spiced
food.
meats of every variety. Mixed in ingredients of various berries. Mostly a lot of not orange, but one of the kinds of types of berries that just kind of goes good with everything. But be that as it may, you see various chefs and their Pokemon working tirelessly to make incredibly good smelling foods. However, your eyes, at least the eyes of Faith, are darting down to the ground. Doing so because you see the paw prints of the absol all over this place. You can even see outside of, just looking that way, that there are shelves knocked out of the way. You can see that stove tops were turned over and are being turned back the way that they should be. You 100% see that there is a room, or not a room, but more so just like a storage area for a lot of the food at the back of the kitchen, and you can see the tracks going in that direction.
Okay, I'm gonna assume Bread would, follow the tracks because they kind of went AFK for a minute.
And with Bread following said tracks, you would come to see after opening the door, first and foremost, various cooks would have tried to stop you. So I'm going to have you roll charm. And, well, actually, no, not charm. Guile. To see if you
I'm
can lie your
fucked.
way out of this. And
Bread,
welcome back, Brett.
Bread, we
Welcome back,
we are
Brad.
most likely fucked right now.
as you are quickly
Quick,
approached
roll
by
guile.
the yes.
Yes.
Roll me guile to lie to the
What's your rank in
chefs.
guile? Well, yours is
I
better
don't
than
know.
mine, at least.
And yes, sir.
Anything happening back at town? Something
At the
very moment.
At the moment, no. In the city, there's not a great deal going on after the incident.
Okay.
Afro, are we both rolling guile?
Yes.
Should we call them now or?
Well, yours is at least better than mine.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Just wow. I should have made popcorn. Just kidding.
Alright, Afro.
So how's this gonna play out, Sakura?
We done suck.
Because this is pretty bad.
We done
This is
suck.
pretty bad, I'm not gonna lie.
Um.
Oh boy.
So
Yeah,
tell me
right.
what you go in with.
We have. I don't know, what are they asking? Exactly?
Basically, trying to figure out what you're doing in here because you obviously are not in any way, shape, or form supposed to be here. A lot of them are ushering you to leave. The majority, not the majority, one of them who's led by a majority of his or her peers, um, basically stops the lot of you. And by the lot, I mean, the two of you, obviously, forming a bit of a barricade to the other side as they demand to know who you are.
Hi, my name is Stark. And I left my homework over there.
Gosh darn it. And let me see the one for Faith. So I can see why Faith's could probably be a little bit more.
Well, I went with my roll.
Yeah, that's the point. I could see how both of your roles would feel believable and non-believable in those respects.
Something that was clearly made up shit.
It's not. Sadly, one of the huh. Uh, I'm trying to find it here.
Find what?
Something for a shadow person, but I guess even though I thought that highly ahead, doesn't matter.
What, like a Pokemon or a look?
Not a Pokemon, a person. But yeah, look, essentially.
I have that as a 2. We both saw how our Intimidate worked last time.
So
Where you basically get it every time.
Hold on.
All right, so what's going
Hey,
on
give me
with
a second.
Afro?
Give me just a moment. Okay. Had to go 2 rounds with Mike Tyson. So, yeah. They're trying to push you out of the kitchen. The person that you told that there was a problem to definitely wants to see with their own eyes, but they also want you out of their kitchen while they do so. Can't use that. Never mind. Fudge. Gosh darn it. I don't think either of you took anything for exploding. Why am I thinking about explosions? I don't know why I'm thinking about explosions. That's just me. Explosions help get me out of the ability to fall asleep, and I can't tell you why or how.
Well, if you
But
need an explosion, you know, you could
this is
just
what I was looking for.
shoot a gas tank with ember.
You could. You may have to. Who knows? Let me get this. Thanks, Spyro. I had to catch myself because I almost full on ate a key on my keyboard because I almost face planted it. So give me a second. All right. There we go. All right. So.
And back.
Welcome back. As
Thank
you're being.
you.
Well, you gotta talk fast then, because they're trying to push you out of the kitchen. The various sushi. Let me see. Okay, that is charm.
Charm from me or charm from Faith?
Charm from Faith, because Faith is the one leading that.
You got this, Faith. I have faith in you.
You can do it.
Oh God. Do you have like a 1 in charm? Yeah, I figured. Oh. Let's see, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do?
Oh, dear me. Oh, dear me. Okay. So looking back at that, I'll tell you right now, didn't work. the interest of money is something that they want, but they realize that they have steady jobs down here in the den that keep them paid and well fed, and most importantly, not dead.
Listen. The person that wants that absol is willing to pay 100,000.
Charm.
Split it with you.
All right. The person that took your deal walks over. Do not lie to us.
Please. This smile lie.
You smile and you continue lying. We really need the cash, man. Seriously.
Don't
Better not be pulling our legs.
That's why we're kind of down here.
You need cash too?
Yes.
Yo, yeah. We're all down in the dumps at the moment. I mean, you don't look it. You look like you probably are kind of well off. Maybe your parents. I don't know. You look like one of them.
The last thing I grabbed from
trainers.
the house before I got kicked out.
Ah, bummer.
Yeah.
Dang, man. Sorry to hear. Well, hey, listen. If you're on the up and up, yeah, definitely down.
So 50-50?
50-50.
Sounds like a good deal to me. So can we proceed as we had originally planned?
Yeah, just don't mess with anything, man.
You have my word, I will not mess with any of the kitchen utensils and whatnot.
Whew.
We are here solely for the absol.
For the, oh, okay. All right. I don't get paid enough to worry about that kind of stuff.
Might I say, by the way, the food smells delicious.
I thank you. It's my own spin on the whole lobster bisque.
Ah, smells magnifique.
You see that, as you're wandering by, being entertained in the nostril region by smells of fancy lobster soups. I mean, yeah, we got some here. It's a bottle for like $5. Now, you do it. Okay.
Ketchup.
Heath, eyeing the ketchup, just eyeing the various jars of ketchup like a utopia of ketchup for him. Definitely, as you buy one and you grab it, he makes all the various grabby hands. Why do I hear friggin' X-Files? Anyway, I could hear the X-Files. I don't know if that's just me finally losing it and
Probably.
failing to the sleep. But yeah, I heard the X-Files. Anyway,
So
you go in, you get the ketchup. He takes it, holding it like a long-lost love, scurries up to your shoulder, Faith, and moving the bottle aside, holding it with just his tail alone, claw, arm, hands. They're just paws free, just full on, just like hugs your face. Delighted by someone who finally, just gets it.
see,
you know.
See, I told you we'd get you some ketchup later.
He is ecstatic with the ketchup that is finally back in his hands,
Okay,
or
Faith,
in his tail.
let's get us that absol.
So as you approach this room, the back of the kitchen, further in, there's this terrible smell that you smell. It's this very, almost like ammonia-like smell. You open up the door.
Because that's healthy to have in a kitchen.
That's not healthy at all to have in the kitchen. It's real bad. You're pretty sure mixing, Pokemon and tossing them in storage rooms is not what you're supposed to do. Live Pokemon, anyway. But as you open up the door, you do in fact see the sack with an outline of an Absol's head. Or horn. Horn head. Head horn. Doesn't matter. You see it. Well, no, I would say it just looks very much out of it. Looks like it was, in fact, drugged of some sort because it's unable to really stand on its own. And if you call Kira,
I don't know if he came back. He went BRB too.
oh, you did, son of a biscuit.
Did someone call my name? I've
Yeah.
been here. I was eating in silent. My apologies.
It's all good.
Yeah, so what's up?
You
Look
would
at you.
probably be getting a call from Faith.
Well, let's
Yeah,
be
so-
honest. It's probably Lance.
What is Lance doing?
Faith ain't gonna pull out that Pokédex and call him.
No, I'm expecting Faith not to.
Faith ain't
So-
gonna use that. See, look, he doesn't even have it.
I left it.
So yeah,
Okay.
Lance would be the one calling him.
Okay.
So what's the ringtone for Lance? Need a ringtone.
Bringing sexy back.
Yeah. You know what? That's it. That's it. We're bringing sexy back. Yeah. It is loops it. We're bringing sexy back. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Lance took my Pokedex and put this on here. Oh. Here's Lance. Hello.
Hey, Kira. By the way, we're
What?
doing some stupid shit. Probably should come give us a hand.
One. Lance. Where are you for starters?
About that.
Lance.
We're kind of in the underground. Well, not like the actual underground, but like the dark, nitty-gritty underground. Like where all the bad people sit.
Give me a minute. Just give me a minute.
It's a place called Sandstorm. Already started a riot.
How many casualties?
We don't have any casualties any so far.
Good. Expecting you and Faith. I'm
But we
expecting
do
no
have a knocked out
casualties.
Krogunk.
A knocked out crow. Huh. Okay.
And a guard that we found out was actually cheating.
You serious?
Yeah, it's weird. Either way, you should probably start heading this way. There's a
Okay.
hill in town with a haunted house at the top or at the bottom of the hill. You'll find like a place where a bunch of sketchy people is. There's a cloth. Go into the cloth. That's kind of where we're at.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I'm heading over there right now. Question. What happened to the Absol? Like, you guys found him?
He's seen better days.
What type of place are they running down there?
Apparently one where they make all the Pokemon doped out. Either way, you should probably get here quick.
Okay. I'll be there soon.
Several puff and injections later.
I see, like, okay, I made it. What the heck is that?
Gamma radiation and poffins have created the ultimate serum.
My
Pokemon that
God.
can never lose a contest. Not ever.
Oh my God, it's perfect! 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. No new score 100! Next contest!
Oh gosh.
Okay, now I bring him up.
You can use medical education.
Alright, Stark. Sanzitz. We have a situation. So it seems I went on ahead. And, Sanzitz, you actually might like this part. If anything bad happens down there, which I bet it's already happened. They already fainted like one Pokemon down there already. I'm gonna need you to start the biggest riot that you ever started in your life. Can you do that for me?
As you see him, you turn back as you're saying this. You're just like saying this, looking ahead, trying to get the plan together. You turn back to see Zanzitz holding up a kid with a switchblade for money. And he pulls back the switchblade, stuffs it back in his fur. Oh, yeah, I got you. And the kid immediately, as the switchblade is folded back up, runs screaming into the night. I got you.
Zanzitz, did you just try to steal money from that kid?
I didn't try. And he shows you the kid's wallet.
Oh my God! Zanzitz!
What?
No, Zanzitz.
What?
Give
What?
it back.
Fine.
Give it back.
Ah!
Go.
He's already long gone. It's mine now, right?
How much was in the wallet?
Shotaro just kind of looks between you and Zanz. Is this kind of what is...
He
what
does
you
this-
expect at this point?
From him? Yes.
Ah,
Also,
okay.
Lelouch. So, I'm gonna need you to sneak on in there with your ghost type powers.
Sneak.
Need you to be the most invisiblest ghost type that I've ever seen in my life.
I literally told you
Make
that
me proud.
shit's going down already. There's no need to sneak. You'll fit in.
I'll fit right in with a lot of casualties. Got it. Just kidding. Just kidding.
He
But yeah.
looks at you. I can be a great many things, and sneaking is something that comes like second nature to me.
I need you to tell me whether, when you find them, come back to me and tell me where they're at. All right. I want you to go on ahead of us.
And as you're saying this, he looks to you and just slowly begins, not slowly begins, but like just starts zipping in and out further and further down the road until you can't see him anymore.
Alrighty. Now all of us should hurry.
Roll me
Shotaro.
athletics.
Athletics?
Mm-hmm.
Whoa!
You're saying this to Shotaro.
Time to be athletic!
Mm-hmm. You'll determine how fast you get there. Okay.
Man,
Yeah,
that's some
what you
good
say,
ground, I'm not
Alice
gonna
later.
lie. I'm not gonna lie, this is some good ground, you know? Just walking straight up there, this is some really good ground. Isn't that right, Shotaro? It's some really
You're
good
rolling
ground.
you're rolling for athletics. You like
You're also
got a
rolling
nice
for Lelouch.
brisk walk.
You're rolling for Lelouch.
That too.
Lelouch.
It's the wrong one.
You rolled the wrong Pokemon.
You're rolling for you as the trainer.
Roll for
I know.
Kira.
I was doing that. I was doing that for me because you. Didn't you need me to roll it for myself as well?
No, you need to just roll it
Just-
for Kira in general.
Just Kira. Just Kira.
Just Kira.
Not Lelouch.
Kira, get your butt over here.
will
Right.
be.
Well, I keep on looking at the ground.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Man, there's some
You
good
went from a
That's a
brisk
blackjack.
walk to
It's just
very, very, just like, I just don't want to run. I just don't want to move.
like you sent ahead of Lewis. He's going. Like he's on his way.
For me, just dance my way there. While looking at the ground.
You're actually walking backwards, slowly.
This is how you work on a moonwalk, boys. Okay. But how long does it take me to get there actually, like, estimate time, Sakura?
So
Probably should have called him sooner.
it definitely takes you around it's the better part of an hour, not the entire hour, but the better part of an hour to really get there.
Good news, boys. It's 11 o'clock at night.
It's already 11 o'clock.
45 minutes.
We finally made it after walking that whole way through. I'm disappointed in myself. Why did I walk all the way here?
You just felt it.
Felt it in my legs, felt it in my bones. But anyway, serious talk. Serious time now.
As you wander into this place using the directions that Lance gave you, into this shady part of the city, in the shady part of the town, I should say, right here, you are greeted with unfamiliar faces. Everybody looks like they want to gut you like a turkey. Fill you full of poffins and smuggle you somewhere to the next town over. But
Oh boy.
as go ahead.
They really came to a bad place, huh? Where'd Zanzits go? Zanzits, this is not the time to play blackjack.
He's playing blackjack, rolling dice. He's found like his own rhythm. He's just like there's various accessories all over his body that he's won off of very dumb people.
Remind me to make you play all these card games if you ever get into the situation, Zanzits.
He gives you a very solid nod as he stuffs all the jewelry into his fur. Stark just kind of looks over to everything. What a den of villainy and filth. I hate it! I despise it.
I know, Stark. I know. Hopefully we won't be here much. Hopefully we won't be here too long.
Faith, how much you want to bet Kira's taking a sweet time?
I wonder where Lelouch is at.
Meanwhile, outside of the door to the kitchen,
Lelouch loves you already.
pandemonium.
He's just seeing everything is happening.
It's just through his eyes, it's just the worst things that could happen are happening. For some reason, the guards fighting one another. Pokemon have started a brawl, the likes of which there is no real way to call off. Some of the ones that were in the pen took this moment to jump out of the pen. Guards are there trying to quell them. Pokemon all over the place. The little higher echelon is rated by the flying types that jump, like just glide up there and begin harassing the high societies.
Oh boy.
Who then pull out their excessively overpowered Pokemon that they've leveled over, a dozen times or so.
Already level 80s?
You just see fully evolved Pokemon just thrashing about up there. But
What was the result of the medicine check from earlier?
as for the medicine, you managed to, I would say, basically get the absol back to its senses using a mixture of water that you found and just slowly getting him off of the delirious state that he was in before. Doesn't look like he's in super tip-top shape, but he is very much alive and active. As you're seeing this, you notice that on the absol, there is a specific kind of brand. It looks more like a letter/number system. And on there it has Z14.
Sakura, you still here?
I am. As you say this, Faith, Absol, through half-lidded eyes, looks towards you and nods. And I would say as the three of you walk or run towards the entrance of this place, and also the fridge, you... Yeah, I guess this would make sense. Do you open the door immediately, or do you wait till the sounds of violence die down?
Depends. Does the sounds of violence sound like they're immediately at the door?
No. But they could start at any moment.
Okay, then just gonna crack the door open and see what it looks like. Then.
All right. So as you crack the door and you peer outside, cautiously but immediately.
Cautiously,
Yes.
but immediately. The best kind of immediately.
We will cliffhanger to what you see out there.
Butch. Okay.
Cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger. As you open the door, and what you see outside may change you forever, as you're not quite sure how this was even performed.
So be continued. Look.
Yes, A to be
Guys.
continued.
Afro is fucking dying over here.
Yes, buddy, you need to sleep.
I keep expecting the second wind to hit me, but it's not.
But it's not.
And I'm
hitting
just
you.
hitting the keyboard repeatedly while pressing the mute button and hoping for the best. But that being the case, yeah, that's always the plan. But the plan kind of goes askew with family stuff. But that withstanding, part 2 will include what you see beyond that door, and you all meeting up to face some very strange threats. Yeah. Hair gel. Yeah. You're
Hair
finally
gel?
gonna fight a bunch of greasers that are trainers, and they have a few Pokemon levels on you.
Give me a
This
minute.
may be the hardest fight of your life because you will have to fight for the very first time, one by one, against Pokemon that may or may not win against you, and trainers
This-
that actually have orders. But till next time,
Till next time on Dragon Ball Z. Just
Hey, thanks for watching the video. Hope you all enjoyed it. As always, remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun jazz. My tracking is being a little shit right now. But yeah, still, you know. Hope you all enjoyed it. Please remember to do that, all that stuff, blah blah. I'm gonna go stab some